Good afternoon, my wonderful friends and my wonderful viewers. My name is Chuks Ineh, and I am back again live this afternoon to talk about one interesting topic that has been bothering a lot of people. Yesterday, a friend of mine sent in a voice note to me, and that voice note was talking about the Igbo burial culture, especially when it comes to do with the mortuary. There were a lot of things that the message was conveying, although many of them I don't believe in it. The person who made the voice note said that when Igbo people die, or people die in Igbo land, that they spend a lot of time keeping the person in the mortuary, and then the spirits of the deceased are roving up and down, possessing young men and making them to be doing evil because they are stranded on earth. This is what the person said, and this is not my position yet. This person also said that because these spirits are stranded and they are possessing youths, is causing the youth to start misbehaving, committing all sorts of crime and taking money. That is a strange belief indeed. I don't subscribe to that. Okay, everybody is free to choose his lifestyle, what he or she wants to be doing, and you cannot blame anybody for your own actions. People can behave anyhow to you, but your reaction is your responsibility, and that is the reason why if anything goes wrong, you'll be held accountable for it. However, my topic now is not about freedom to choose and the consequences of our choices, but I want to address the issue of Igbo burial culture and the need for changes. My father told us, he is still alive, he has shown us where he wants to be buried if he dies, and he said the same day he dies he should be buried that day. This is his will, and I hope that I and my brothers will carry out that assignment according to the way my father wants. A friend of mine, a very successful young entrepreneur, Akajobi from Okiwe, told me that the father has passed away and they have buried him immediately the father died. And yes, they buried the father immediately he died, but the main burial ceremony has not been done. It was scheduled for later. This young man who lives in Malaysia later returned, and a very big burial was done for the father because they came to honor their father. I have no issue with those that have the resources and they have taken care of their elderly ones or their parents, and that during the time of burial they have the financial means to bury them. It is the joy of parents to be buried by their children and not parents burying their children. And so after our parents have raised us, they come to a state that they have retired and they are home, and it is the responsibility of children to take care of them and nurse them. Most of our parents, before they die, become very, very sick due to old age and its associated illnesses and challenges. During the time that they were sick, did you spend enough resources to take care of them? Did you take them at least to make sure that they get the best medical attention and treatment? Did you ensure that they got the best drugs, be it orthodox or herbal? Did you try to call them and follow up and know and check up on them and know how they were doing while they were alive? Did you look at their living condition, the foam they slept on, the bed, their room? Are they comfortable in their homes? Did you do all these things? Or are you just waiting for the time that one of them will die, either the father or the mother, then you break down that house and then you build a massive building and then you invite your friends for them to come and see? Even your own parents did not see or enjoy that kind of house you have built now? Don't you think that if you built that new house then and they enjoy the comfort of that home, that could have prolonged their life? Do you know that that could have helped them to see that they enjoy the comfort of a cozy environment? That environment influences man and man influences the environment. This is a simple study in social studies. Now the thing is that yes, in Igbo culture we tend to sometimes compete amongst ourselves, and so when we look at what others have done, we do simple copy because we don't want to be the ones that will be mocked by the society or the ones that will be last in things. And so therefore you want to imitate others, and after you have spent a lot of money doing this burial, your family becomes broke. Many times people even sell land to do the burial, whereas that land could have been sold when the person was alive and the resources or the proceeds of that land would have been used to send a member of your family abroad. The person would have traveled abroad to go and hustle, send money back to buy back the land or buy other lands from the community. But we don't think in that direction. All we care about is waiting for the person to die, and then we want to show off. When this person was seriously sick, we didn't care. We didn't care about the person's health. When the person was crying about pains, about eyes, about diabetes, about hypertension, about stroke, about prostrate, about all these sicknesses that are associated with old age, we didn't really care. We didn't even call them. We didn't even take them to the hospital. So many times they will be needing that kind of care. We don't have nursing homes here. We don't have elderly people's home here. So sometimes our parents are just home. Sometimes the person that we employ to take care of them even insult them and mock our own parents, and we don't care. And these things keep making them sad that their children are not reaching out to them until they eventually give up their ghost. Even though that this man was against the fact that we spend a lot of money keeping the person in a mortuary, I would suggest, if it is possible, if it is the will of the family, bury the person immediately, and then you can now plan for the burial later on. I will also advise, it's a personal thing, this has to do with families. You don't need to tell a family how they will take care of themselves, or burial is a family issue. But as much as we can, let us not waste money and become broke later. Let us not impress people with what we don't have, who don't care about our lifestyle, and then later on you go back to borrow money from them or to ask them for help. You have impressed them, they have come, they have eaten, and they have left. One of the challenges that we have during burials comes from our in-laws, and also from our community elders and youths. Many times, even the church, the Igbo Christian churches are very mean and wicked during the times of burial. They don't give the necessary support. That is the time that they would remind you about the depths of this man or this woman to the church and the contribution that this person failed to make. And sometimes the bishop will threaten, or the pastor will threaten, that they will not come for burials until those debts are cleared. And then you have to look for money left and right to do that. And sometimes they will not even come for the burial if you don't make that money that payment. And then the elders too in the community, they will come and start making unnecessary demands. Yes, that is the time they want to take every penny from this family that is bereaved. In fact, if you study the Igbo culture properly, our people don't really mourn with us. They only want to come and eat and drink and enjoy because somebody has died. Burials and funerals have become a place for merriment, whereas it's supposed to be a solemn time that we should reflect on the loss or the life well spent, or even whatever the memory the person left behind, and then take our time to remember those things, and wish the person goodbye and for the person to rest in peace. There are a lot of changes we need to introduce into our burial system. One particular change I would like us to put into motion, especially I will invite or call upon the various states House of Assemblies to make sure that this comes into place. We should introduce the cemetery system. The cemetery system is a more advanced or more developed way of burying people. The idea of burying people in the family compound is a slight challenge with the internet, so I have changed internet connection and I'm using a different connection right now. And so, my dear friends, we need to introduce the cemetery system. If somebody dies and is to be buried, let us have a cemetery. Do you know that when the Europeans came, the churches were having cemeteries? Anglicans had cemeteries, Catholics had cemeteries. People were not even buried in compounds. We should introduce that. That is a sign of civilization and development. Still burying people in our compounds is not the best idea, unless you want to have a family cemetery where you people can map out land and then designate that place as a burial ground, a solemn place for the final resting place of family members. That is equally fine. But in the absence of that, municipals, should have a public cemetery system. Even I have seen a commercial public system, very beautiful, where people pay lots of money just to bury their loved ones. A government legislation can bring that into action. But the key message I want to drive this afternoon is that we need to start spending less money during burials, because the person is already dead and gone, and so the money that we are spending is not really relevant. We can organize burials in a very simple way, in a very quiet way. Let those that matter attend. Others can participate through technology if they want to. If you have excess money, you can set up a memorial, a scholarship in the name of the dead person, and use it in human development, and not just drinking and eating, in the memory of the person, and after that, that is gone. Okay, so there are a lot of ways we can save costs. The idea of selling property too is not the best idea. Selling land, to bury somebody, when the same land would have been sold to send a family member abroad, when the same land would have been sold to take care of the sick person when the person was not healthy, would have helped to prolong the person's life. What is your opinion about this? What do you think about the Igbo culture when it comes to burials? Do you think we are getting it right? You may not have experienced anything about burials because maybe you have not buried somebody related to you. You see these things happen. But if you have experienced burial firsthand, you know what I'm talking about. That sometimes people spend a lot of resources due to the societal demands, the cultural demands. Not only if it is a woman, for example, that died, you need to go to her parents' house or your in-laws and report that the person is dead. And then they will also make their own demands. Many times they don't even contribute anything to help in the burial of their daughter or their sister that they call their own. Sometimes they want to make the whole thing look as if somebody has killed this person. Yes, there are cases where somebody dies because the person was poisoned or because the person had an accident or things like that. But we should know that the Nigerian system, that our roads are not too good, our hospitals are not well equipped, and that our life expectancy is 50-something years old. And so let us avoid, and I'm not talking to mostly the Pentecostal pastors and churches and some native doctors who are fond of trying to instigate and cause problems in families by putting blame on somebody that person is responsible for the death of that person. Anybody can die. I can die. Youths die. Children die. Adults die. Old people die. People die because it is their time, or because it's accident, or because it's neglect. We should stop blaming somebody who is innocent and causing a serious animosity in that family. Because if you've lost your loved one, you are in pains. And when you are in pains and somebody says this is the person, it is this uncle, or it is this aunt, or it is this person that killed your father or that killed your mother, even though the person is innocent, and there is no scientific proof, to ascertain that this person did what people are accusing the person of. Such quarrel goes beyond generation. You are sowing a seed of discord in that family, in that community, that they will never love each other. They will never have peace among themselves, because they have come to conclude that this person actually killed their father or their mother, whereas it's not even the case. And because you are a person of authority and people look up to you, people respect your opinion, because either you're a pastor or you're a man of God, in quote, or your native doctor, whatever you say, people take it, and so you use that to destroy families. We need to look into it holistically. There are certain things we have to do for ourselves, but no matter what, we need to understand that the responsibility of burial is in the hands of a family, and so this change can come from the family. The family knows that when their father or their mother was alive, the community did nothing for them, and if you shun the community demands, nothing will happen. The community does not have any right to stop any burial when they did not contribute to the welfare or to the upbringing of that particular person. And so families can start making decisions about how they want to conduct families burials, and they need to be wise in their expenses. That there is no need, there is no wisdom in spending a lot of money during burials and remaining in debt and suffering about it. As much as possible, if you want to make certain arrangements, 4 days in a mortuary is enough. Even the white people that were copying, how long do you think they keep somebody in the mortuary before they bury the person? Sometimes in less than 1 week the burial is conducted. Okay. Finally, for those of us that call ourselves Christians, that we say we are followers of Jesus Christ, that we want to walk in the footsteps of Jesus Christ, the question I want to ask you is very, very simple. Jesus Christ, the man that we believe in and the man we worship, The day he died, was it not the day he was buried? Imagine if we, the Igbo people, decided that we want to go and put him in the mortuary. Then when is he going to resurrect and become our savior? In the same way that we are Christians, we can follow his example. Let pastors, the Catholic Church, the Anglican Church, the Methodist Church, the Presbyterian Church, and all the churches that have influence on their members start practicing exactly the same way that Christ died that day and was buried that day. It will help in saving costs, unnecessary costs in the mortuary, and unnecessary rituals that are going on in the mortuary. It will bring it to a final stop. This is my message to you today, and I hope it will help in shaping our ideology about Igbo burials and culture, influencing it for change, so that at least let us start reducing costs, let us start reducing the time frame, let us stop impressing others, okay? Because the dead person needs to rest in peace, and we the living needs to survive and not waste our resources. Thank you for watching. Share this video, share this message. Thank you. See you very, very soon. Bye bye.